how to use past theses to aid your own thesis progress. Hi everyone, I'm Gabby from mythesiscoach.com, and I would like to tell you a story. So right at the beginning of my PhD journey, I thought, all right, let me figure this out. I want to get a sense of what's to come. So I went onto my university's research repository and I found a whole bunch of theses in my subject area, and I thought, right, this is going to motivate me, and I'm so excited to see what people have done. Well, let me tell you something more than motivated me. It completely freaked me out. I looked at these amazing documents that were brilliant and comprehensive and amazing and insightful, and I thought, oh my word, I'm never going to be able to do this. It totally freaked me out. It triggered my imposter syndrome. Was it good for my academic writing? Heck no. So what I want to talk about today is how to approach past theses in a way that they're going to be productive for you and that you don't get completely freaked out like I did. So my first suggestion is when approaching a past thesis, please keep perspective. The document that you are looking at has been through years of work. There have been revisions, there's been changes, there's been overwhelm, there's been disasters, there's been energy, there's been effort, there's been proofreaders, there's been polishing. That final document that you're looking through has been through all of that. You are not supposed to be there yet. It's almost like, when you look at magazines and you see these perfect models and you're like, oh, why don't I look like that? But obviously I don't, because I haven't been airbrushed and filtered and all those good things. So it's the same thing with the thesis. Approach it for what's going to help you, but don't get too overwhelmed, because yours is not meant to be like that. And it's your thesis. It's never going to be exactly like that. So theirs is a finished product. You're still on the journey. So try not to compare where you're at with this amazing finished product. That's my first tip. My second tip, and where I think a past thesis or past theses can be really helpful, is to get a sense of required structure within your particular course of study or discipline. So different institutions have different requirements. Some institutions want a 6-chapter thesis. Some institutions want a 5-chapter thesis. Some institutions want very particular headings, which is such difficult information to know if you don't have previous examples to look at. So that's something that you might find quite helpful. If you're entering a new discipline or a new institution, it's quite useful to go and have a look at previous theses to get a sense of what are the structure requirements, because you can use that information when putting together your own thesis and developing your own plan for how you want to go about it. So my next point is related to that. You can use past theses to get a sense of how long each section that you're going to write will need to be. So look at a couple of past theses and see, okay, how much of the document is the introduction? How much of it is spent on the research methodology? How long is the literature review? And you might eventually actually come out with a plan saying, okay, great, so about 10% of my document must be intro. Okay, about 20% needs to be literature review. Interesting, about 15 is methodology. If you can come out with a sense of that, that's going to be incredibly useful when you go in to write your own thesis, because you'll know how many words, how much time, and how much energy needs to be focused on each of those sections, each of those chapters of your thesis. And I think this is incredibly useful, because if you can have a sense, okay, great, I'm aiming for a 30-page literature review, then you don't have to write a 60-page literature review, because you know how much space you're working with. And past theses can be a great way to get that information, which otherwise isn't fairly known. Finally, another good thing that I think past theses can be helpful for is to get a sense of the research approaches that previous students have used. Now, this can be very useful if you are new to research and you don't know your quantitators from your qualitators and your surveys from your questionnaires, from your interviews. If you have a look at past theses and you see how did students approach their research, what did they do in order to answer their questions, this can give you a really wide sense of the possibilities that are out there. And then you can figure out, well, what's going to be best for answering your question, and you can go off and research that better on your own. The past theses can be really helpful in terms of sharing different students' approach to their research. So there we have it, some advice on how to use past theses in order to aid your own thesis progress. Please remember to subscribe to this channel, and I'm really looking forward to connecting next time. Bye-bye.